This is the one you've been waiting for. Banditos, by now you might have heard that the ongoing directive gear set has been reworked and is now better than ever. What you probably haven't realized is that it can now be hacked into a hybrid skill build with damage and status effects. That's right, your skills can now deliver special ammo and 35% amp damage to your weapon and 20% amp damage for your team. This makes it unique and highly effective for solo and legendary group play. I'm going to show you a bit of both and 3 build variations so you can choose the one that feels just right. Hit the like right now if unique and effective builds are for you, and comment the one down below. I have a few build options for you today, and all are designed for solo and group legendary. The first build encompasses all the greats Season 10 has given us, and might be my favorite of all. It starts with 4 pieces of ongoing directive. This gives you 15% status effects, 30% reload speed, and rules of engagement. Shooting a status affected target marks them. That's new. When killing a marked target, you get special ammo that applies bleed and gives you 20% amp damage. And now your team gets half your mag as special ammo too. So you're buffing yourself and the team. That's also new. But the part that makes this build work so well is the marked targets part. Anything can kill the marked targets to divvy special ammo, even your skills. So yes, your skills can now deliver special ammo to your gun. Wow. And I am running the capacitor, which gets 7.5% weapon damage from cores, and we have 2 red weapon damage cores on top of that. This buffs the skills by 60% skill damage, and those skills return the favor by getting the kill and buffing your gun with 20% amp damage. A vicious cycle. What a synergy. You want every piece to look like the mask with skill damage, a skill haste mod, and a skill tier. The knee pads look exactly the same as the mask. The gloves have a red core and skill damage because we have the extra skill tiers to use on the build. More on that in a second. I am running the chest piece to bump the hollow points from 20 to 35% amp damage for myself. This is bringing the build in balance, and you'll see why in a moment. I prefer to have skill damage or haste, but this has status effects, not the worst thing. The backpack makes this build stand out. It's my first piece of the new brand set Brazos de Arquebus, and it's giving me skill haste and a skill tier. I rolled a skill tier on this one, so we are officially at 6 skill tiers. I prefer haste instead of armor regen, but it has skill damage on it and tech support. Skills are buffing themselves by 25% for 20 seconds with this talent. This is a nice balance between the chest and backpack. The chest buffs the weapon, the backpack, the skill damage. Also, very helpful when you're pinned down by a heavy rush. The second piece is the named Picaro's holster with 20% weapon damage. I have skill damage and haste on it. In patch 16.1, this will be updated to 30% weapon damage, making the build even stronger, so keep that in mind. I am running Technician for the 10% more skill damage, the damage to robotics and the extra skill tier. That's giving us 6 skill tiers and 2 red cores for a gun that stings. The turret has a 107,000 damage base and will get 85% increase in damage with the backpack and weapon talents. My other skill is the riot foam. This is very important for the build and makes it lethal. I have 8 canisters and almost 13 seconds in duration. This is the perfect amount to even solo a checkpoint. Remember, your special ammo also applies the bleed status effect. We will talk about the foam further. I'm going to go ahead and skip the stats page because this skill build has all of those. Build 2, this setup is also very unique. I really enjoyed running 2-piece Hannah U with Creeping Death on the backpack because it makes it almost feel like you have infinite riot foam. 2 pieces of Hannah U gives you skill haste and skill damage. Creeping Death spreads the riot foam on delivery, and the chest piece is constantly cutting down 6 seconds off of your riot foam cooldowns thanks to the turret damage. Try to keep everything else the same with skill damage and skill tiers. My gloves now have status effects because that's all I had. The holster is now with a weapon damage core and skill damage. The turret is hitting at 113,000 before the 60% buff in the capacitor, and it would be a little bit higher if I had better gloves. The riot foam duration is now over 14 seconds, and the cooldowns will be lightning fast with the tag team talent. Everything else on the build is the same with skill tiers, skill damage, and haste mods. This short clip of build 2 is is of me doing the first checkpoint on Roosevelt Island on Legendary. This is also a good one because it has medics, drone operators, and grenadiers, and you will see me neutralize them super easy. This Umbra Backfire build gives you 350% crit damage, 70% has pro, and is immune to bleed. It's a great way to get the most out of the Umbra. I made it in the lab, live on Twitch in unedited gameplay, where I make all my builds. Follow me over there for more Division 2 fun. Shout out to all the members of Tux's Players Club. I'm really honored to have your support and can't imagine a better way to say thank you than providing you with more of what you love. This playlist on my YouTube homepage hosts your bonus content, extra builds, gamer music playlists, and more. Not a member yet? It's time you join a strong, positive community. Links here and in the area below. Both build 1 and 2 are equally effective, honestly, but build 2 is going to give more riot foam and build 1 is going to give you more damage. I think build 2 shows just how powerful riot foam is. This doesn't have the strongest primary weapon or skill damage of this build series, but I can just as easily clear legendary content with it. Also note the turret is offering more than damage. It's also pulling the NPC's attention off of you so you can foam and shoot them. Build 3 is similar to build 2, but now I am running the Memento backpack, an easy swap. This is a nice addition because it's given me another red core and blue armor core. I am mostly going for the armor regen for some survivability, but you will find that 30% weapon damage and 30% skill efficiency is extremely valuable and why I decided to stick with tag team. So we're going to get powered up damage and still have lightning fast cooldowns. The regen and armor core is a little helpful for your survival. The Umbra Initiative gear set is an absolute beast, and this is the build you should start with.
Follow me.